Picture a samurai alone at dawn, kneeling in perfect stillness, no master watching, no battle ahead. Just him and the cold air, performing his ritual with absolute precision. Every movement deliberate, every breath controlled. He does this today, tomorrow, and for decades. Meanwhile, you can't stick to a simple habit for 2 weeks. How did these warriors maintain perfect self-control their entire lives? While you collapse after every attempt, you've been told it's willpower, motivation, mental toughness. But that's not it. The difference isn't strength. It's something most people have never even heard of. You know the pattern by heart, you commit hard. You go all in for a few days, maybe a couple of weeks, then you collapse back to zero. You've tried willpower sprints, making dramatic promises, following rigid schedules, and forcing yourself through sheer effort. And every time, it just burns you out. The worst part isn't the failure. It's the shame that follows. That whisper in your head, maybe I'm this weak. Maybe I don't have what it takes. So, you try again, and you fail again. 5 years from now, if nothing changes, you'll still be stuck in this loop. Your dreams will be quietly abandoned, your relationship strained by broken promises. While you spin your wheels, a small group of people are using a completely different system. They're not stronger than you. They just know something you don't. Let me show you what they know. Kenji was 34, overweight, and exhausted. Every morning, he'd light a cigarette before his coffee. Every night, he'd drink to numb the stress of a job that drained him. He hated his reflection. Hated the promises he made himself. Tomorrow I'll change, and never kept. His wife had stopped believing him years ago. His kids learned not to expect him to follow through. Then one evening, his 8-year-old son looked up from his homework and asked, "Dad, why do you always lie about quitting?" The question landed like a punch. Kenji realized he was becoming the man his son would remember with disappointment. A man whose word meant nothing. That night, desperate, he searched for something different. Not another motivational video, something real. He stumbled across a forgotten samurai concept, Gyoji. What Kenji discovered wasn't a hack. It was a complete restructuring of what self-control actually is. Gyoji means maintaining correct form in all things, even when no one is watching. For the samurai, discipline wasn't something they summoned when they needed it. It was who they were. Their daily rituals, how they ate, how they trained, how they carried themselves reflected their identity. Most people ask, "How do I get motivated?" The samurai asked, "Who am I when no one is looking?" That's the shift. Self-control, in a resource you spend until it runs out. It's a posture you hold, a form you maintain, regardless of how you feel. Kenji realized he'd been asking the wrong question his whole life. He'd been chasing motivation, willpower, the right moment. He should have been asking who he was. So he rebuilt himself using the samurai's 3-layer system. First, ritual. Kenji chose the smallest possible ritual. Every morning at 6, 1 glass of water, then 1 minute of standing in silence. That's it. Not drink more water throughout the day. Not meditate for 20 minutes. Just 1 glass, 1 minute, every single day. Because behavior change is identity change. Every time you keep a tiny promise to yourself, you're proving something deeper. I am someone who keeps my word. Neuroscience backs this up. Habit loops aren't built through intensity, they're built through consistency. Your brain doesn't care about grand gestures. It cares about repetition. After 2 weeks, Kenji noticed something shift inside him. He wasn't trying to be disciplined anymore. He was someone who did this, but ritual alone isn't enough. The second layer is restraint. The samurai practiced Gaman enduring discomfort with dignity. Saying no even when no one would know. Kenji applied this by choosing 1 small indulgence each day and refusing it. The second cup of coffee. 5 minutes of scrolling. The late-night snack. He wasn't doing this as punishment, but as practice. He was training the skill of choosing his identity over his impulse. Every small no reinforced something vital. I am someone in control. At first, It felt like sacrifice, like he was depriving himself, but after a few weeks, something shifted. Saying no started to feel less like loss and more like self-respect. Each refusal was a quiet victory, proof that he wasn't ruled by cravings or convenience. And then he learned the third layer, the one that makes the system permanent: refinement. The samurai embraced Kaizen 1% improvement, daily, forever. Kenji didn't rush to add new habits. He refined the ones he had. He deepened his ritual. He sharpened his restraint. Month by month, he became more precise. The samurai also understood Shuhari. First you follow the form strictly, then you adapt it to yourself, then it becomes you. This is the opposite of 21-day challenge culture. Real transformation doesn't happen in a sprint. It unfolds across years of patient refinement. Kenji's mindset shifted completely. This isn't a phase. This is who I am now. But of course, he didn't just succeed smoothly, he broke. And what happened next is what separates the unbreakable from everyone else. Month 3. A brutal week at work. Kenji slept 3 hours a night, skipped his morning ritual twice, and drank to numb the pressure. The old shame came flooding back. I'm a failure. I'll never change. But this time, something was different. He remembered Gyoji. It's not about perfection. It's about return. The next morning, 6 a.m., he stood in his kitchen. 1 glass of water, 1 minute of silence, no drama, no starting over from zero, just a return to form. This is what most people miss. Resilience isn't built in never falling. It's built in the quiet return after you do. That moment, the quiet return, was when Kenji became unbreakable. 1 year later, Kenji had lost 30 pounds. He'd quit nicotine. He drank maybe twice a month. But none of that mattered as much as the way his son watched him now. With respect, with curiosity. One morning, his son asked if he could join the ritual. Kenji realized then, self-control was never about willpower. It was about becoming someone his future self and his son could respect. Discipline becomes legacy. Your daily form teaches the people around you what's possible. Most people chase results. Samurai embodied identity. Results followed. Now it's your turn. But I need you to understand. This only works if you commit differently than you ever have before. Here's what I'm asking. Choose 1 microscopic ritual. 1 glass of water at 6 a.m. 5 push-ups before bed. 1 page of reading. 1 minute of silence. Something so small it feels almost meaningless. But here's the part that matters. You're not doing this for 30 days. You're doing it for 365 days. For the rest of your life. This is not a challenge. This is a vow to yourself. This is you deciding who you are. Comment below with your ritual and the date you're starting. Make it public. Let this be the moment you became unbreakable. Most people will watch this and do nothing. They'll stay in the cycle. But you, if you declare this now, you're choosing the samurai's path. The question is not whether you can. The question is, who will you be 1 year from now? Thanks for watching. Subscribe for more.